Hey, what's up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to another edition of AEW Dynamite. Tonight's show was red hot when it came to everything that had transpired. This is the episode for July 17th, 2024. More importantly, this is on the road towards AEW's All In. Everything was great when it came to the controversy that led up to the AEW's Continental Championship, as well as the AEW International Championship. With more things coming along the lines of the main event of Swerve Strickland taking on Okada, which was fantastic until we had more controversy as well. But Tony Khan did a phenomenal job when it came to stacking up the card when it came to tonight's showcase. More importantly, we have the Team AEWs now officially assembled after the ending of AEW Dynamite. And then we had a phenomenal championship match between MJF and Will Ospreay for the AEW International Championship. But things are looking really good when it comes to AEW's All In, as well as we have Mercedes Mone setting her tone when it comes to battling with Nia Rose, as well as we end up having Britt Baker make an appearance on tonight's showcase. More importantly, everything looked like it was all good when it came to tonight's show. It was pretty decent. For my own hot take, I'll probably give it a B-. But more importantly, I'd like to know from you guys, personal opinion, how you felt about the show. Were you intrigued? Were you interested? Or was you even invested in the show? I talked to a couple of my colleagues. Some of them weren't interested. Some of them were. But overall, they still tuned in when it came to AEW's milestone of a great thing when it comes to hitting up to their showcase of 250. But let's go ahead and get into the nitty gritty. Everything's so saucy for professional wrestling. Appreciate you guys coming through and show your love and support. If you're coming from all platforms, either Twitter, Facebook, or YouTube, don't forget to share this content. Hit the like button. And don't forget to comment as well. If you guys are coming in from Twitter, I probably won't be able to see your comments. But switch over directly to YouTube. Should be directly, the YouTube link should be on my profile page. But more importantly, as always, appreciate you guys tuning in for this live edition of AEW Dynamite. But let's go ahead and get into the show of everything that started off with MJF taking on Will Ospreay. This match was a true clinic, a whole lot of back and forth. I enjoyed everything about this match. There was nothing unturned when it came to the showcase that these boys put on the clinic. From all the moves to everything that had transitioned from back and forth action. More importantly, they kept me invested for this whole entire long hour, close to an hour, when it came to this match. It felt like an Iron Man match, but it felt like a true kind of thing that I really enjoyed, which was non-stop action. More importantly, it came down to a controversy when it came down to the end, as MJF was able to pick up the victory after using the Dynamite ring to strike Will Ospreay within his forehead and pick up the victory after it was down to the wire of going down to a draw. MJF was able to seal the victory. The staff was all checking on everybody that had such a great tune-in when it came to everything that had transpired. But more importantly, MJF came off by becoming the new AEW International Champion. But I'm looking forward to them running it back at AEW's All In. I feel like it's going to be a great show when they put things into caliber of how things may transpire. But more importantly, we got to see when Daniel Garcia come back and maybe they make it a three-way. But MJF is going to have his hands full because his next challenger is going to be Pac, who's looking to gain his next secondary championship. I know he's already carried the TNT championship, and he's looking to get the Continental championship as well. More importantly, things broke down when it came to controversies. MJF was given an oxygen mask, and Will Ospreay's shoulder was being iced. But show things really was a great valiant effort when it came to Will Ospreay. He gave his all tonight in this match, even when his shoulder was fully dislocated. It kind of sucked to see that happen, but the doctors popped it back into place. But more importantly, he showed himself when it came to putting on all stops, pulling off great moves when it came to even seeing a Styles clash, not only from the top but as well from the outside apron. The table was also involved when it came to everything that happened in tonight's match. But more importantly, MJF really showed himself that he can go when it comes to being in the ring. More importantly, he's 100% doing his thing. And I'll give him his props. Even though he's a heel right now, it's 100% worth it. MJF fits a heel as a glove. And I enjoy everything about what Will Ospreay and MJF put on tonight's showcase. Then we get to the Acclaim, who's in a backstage interview with Mark Briscoe. They're looking to join Team AEW for Blood and Guts, which is going to be a great showcase next week for Blood and Guts as Team AEW take on the Elite. Mark Briscoe is hyped pretty much about it, and as far as he's concerned, they're in. He got Shane Strickland to answer as well, as he's the captain when it comes to AEW's Blood and Guts. Swerve says they have no problem over the years, but he knows what they're about. And they're tough people, and there's nobody better to go to war than when you got somebody they can go to battle with. When it comes to Blood and Guts, Team AEW is looking stacked. Same when it comes to the Elite. But I'm looking forward when everybody clash and things actually break down. We know every single individual will not be the same when it comes to Blood and Guts. Nobody's left the same when it comes to the brutality, the onslaught, as well as that still living of unforgiveness when it comes to that match. More importantly, we're probably going to see bloodshed, and as well as some people probably will never be the same again. Then we get over to TV time with Chris Jericho with the Learning Tree. They introduced him when it came to tonight's segment. And then pretty much this segment just wasn't worth it from my own personal opinion. I feel like the TV time was just a waste of time when it came to how they went about it. I feel like this initial group isn't getting over 100%. They need to find a new gimmick for Chris Jericho. But this isn't it. I'm really just was not truly invested when it came to everything that had went on with this segment. But I'm going to go ahead and get into it. Chris Jericho, he got on the mic. He berated the people in Little Rock for their crime rates. He says he never missed another Dynamite again, but recounts the way he and his cronies have injured Hook, Shibata, and Samoa Joe. More importantly, they last while he begs everyone to just listen. And so doing so, he said anything like that will ever happen again. But whoever such does a thing, Minoru Suzuki ended up challenging Chris Jericho. He came out with a contract to assort himself when it came to them getting set up for everything. Then things really broke down when the fans just wasn't invested into this segment. They were booing, and they were like asking Jericho to go away. More importantly, they just wasn't invested. But Suzuki ended up smacking Jericho, well, more punching him and dropping him down to his knees when it came to everything that had transpired. But I know it's going to be a great match when it comes to Suzuki and Jericho. They have great history and they have great chemistry when it comes to their wave of how to get things done in a square circle. More importantly, it's just see how things unfold as everybody else from the Jericho tree is going to be banned in this match. But we shall see how things unfold when it comes to that singles opportunity for Suzuki to go for the FTW Championship. Then we have the Young Bucks and Okada. They cut a promo about how they're going to have all the gold and all the power next week. And Shane Strickland is going to be the one bleeding so bad, but he has to vacate the title. But I didn't like that segment either as well when it came. It was short and sweet, but it's straight to the point. But more importantly, it sets the tone to how things are going to unfold when it comes to blood and guts. When it comes to Young Bucks, they're straight bricks. They just do their thing. But they still keep us highly invested when it comes to when they can get in the ring, they can do their thing. Okada as well, he continues to be valiant and funny when it comes to everything that they continue to do with him. He continues to impress me, but more importantly, he continues to keep me invested and keep me laughing each and every single week. Mercedes Moné ends up rolling up on him as well to thank them for banning Britt Baker for ringside. Okada asked her to do the CEO dance and get all hot and bothered about it, and then they go into the commercial break. Then we get ready for the TBS Championship, Mercedes Moné versus Nyla Rose, who's a great veteran when it comes to AEW, but more importantly, she's one of the originals of being the AEW Women's Champion. Moné and them got into a decent fight. It was decent for what it was, but it kept me highly invested when it came to everything that went on. These ladies went back and forth with a lot of chain wrestling and everything under the sun. Mercedes was able to pick up the victory after hitting that statement maker and hit the submission and made Nyla Rose tap out. This match was a 3.5 out of 5 stars from my own personal opinion, but it was decent when it came to Nyla Rose showing her dominance and putting Mercedes in check when it came to everything throughout this match. She led the match, she kept us invested, but it was calm, cool, and collective how everything had unfolded. Then as things broke down in the post-match, Mercedes was celebrating when it came to her championship and going about through the crowd, doing her normal thing as being a true heel. I love when Mercedes is a heel. She knows how to get under the fan's skin and knows how to keep everybody invested when it comes to her persona. But she ends up going up to a fan who ended up having a Sting's mask. She starts yelling at them, but then the fan pie-faced her and pushed her on her ass. And then the fan ended up removing her mask, the Sting's mask, and ended up being Dr. Britt Baker, DMD. You gotta love the DMD. Security ended up swarming the whole situation after Mercedes was trying to leave. She could have got away, but the security grabbed her, which was kind of funny. I guess he was stopping her from getting the beatdown from Britt Baker. But things broke down very quickly as they ended up going to the commercial break after that initial segment. But the championship is going to mean more when it comes to those ladies getting at it when it comes to All In. But I don't want to see Britt Baker coming off her first actual singles win to become the AEW champion, well, AEW TBS champion, because she just came back, and I'd like to see something different when it comes to Britt just in general. More importantly, Mercedes needs to get a run just a little bit longer, maybe all the way up to Full Gear, and then see how things may unfold from there, as we have so many ladies that are coming back, including as we end up having a WE contract had ended. More importantly, we end up having a few people that's coming in. We end up have Jamie Hayter. She's making her return. Saraya's looking to get that TBS championship as well, because she's kind of have lackluster, don't have opponent. As well as we have a couple people that may be making their debut sometime in the upcoming weeks. I can't give the details yet, but I know Sean Rossap said a female wrestler is making their debut in their former WWE superstar. More importantly, they came back from a commercial break. Skiggle Jack Perry cuts a promo on Darby Allin. It was decent promo. It was okay for what it was, but it still kept me invested. But I enjoyed everything for what it was when it came to the promo. But it was very mid at best. But he ended up saying that he doesn't give a shit about Brandon Cutler, and proves by throwing him through a boiler room door, throwing him into one of the tanks. He tells Darby to find him tonight and he'll show him what a real sacrifice looked like. But that was pretty much the sum up of that segment. But it was short and sweet. It was straightforward. But it was cool for what it was when it came to the segment. But I enjoyed everything about it when it came to Jack Perry coming to his own. But it's going to be kind of still mid for him to be a heel. But we shall see how things may unfold. I know a lot of people would love to see him when it comes to Chicago, coming back to All Out, have that song playing by Justin Timberlake, Cry Me a River, or some kind of heel tactics when it comes to CM Punk. But they need to go in a new direction, not even worry about CM Punk, kind of just focus on the new direction, the new persona of going back to the old days of AEW, of day one, when they were hot and ready, and the fans really were truly invested, and they were like the new kids on the block, like a fresh pair of shoes. More importantly, the fans were invested into the wrestling, and this is what AEW continues to be each and every single week. Then we have Mariah May, who comes out to Toni Storm's interest, and she comes to do a full segment. She comes out as Timeless. She gets on the mic. She says Toni took her in, but didn't realize she was going to give it all away. And the question, she says why it should be, but why it took so long. She didn't think it lasted long enough, but it was too easy, but she was having so much fun. Then she said at Wembley, she has her sights and thought, why take the old horse out back when she can kill it in front of all the people as possible. She's been with Toni, and now she can be so much more. But don't worry, she never loved Toni Storm, but more than when she was on her knees, bleeding and begging for her great performance. May Gray's performance will be at All In, because now the All Elite Wrestling is about Mariah. And then she ends up recapping and laying on the floor doing similar to Toni Storm. But this storyline is really picking up because it's been long-term booking when it comes to these ladies. Toni Storm being a face, it's kind of like very mad. I prefer her to be a heel. She does very great heel work. When it comes to Mariah, I prefer her to be a face, but they did the switch when it came to this actual setup for everything. But I prefer to see how things may unfold with this actual match at All In. It's going to be great when these ladies put on a great showcase. I know Mariah can go. Same when it comes to other ladies that are involved. Toni Storm. But Luther's going to be involved in some kind of fashion. But I look forward to seeing how he may be into the fold of everything. More importantly, it's going to be great wrestling just for the women's division. They're going to step it up. They're going to have to step it up because the TBS Championship is going to be in right behind them when it comes to going on first. But the second week, it will be the AEW's Women's Championship going on right behind. I know a lot of people were talking about making this match the main event for All In, but I don't think I would love to see that. I'd like to see Bryan Danielson versus Swerve be the main event. I think that needs to be the close out of the show because those boys are going to put on a clinic, and that can go fully an hour, same way how things had unfolded when it came to MJF and when it came down to Will Ospreay. Will Ospreay is still going to have his hands full as well. Speaking of Will Ospreay, he has to figure out what's going to happen with the Don Callis family. But I think they're probably going to set him up to face Konosuke Tateska when it comes to All In. I feel like some way, somehow they're going to involve him to face him at All In. And then MJF is going to face Daniel Garcia at All In. But the storyline continues to be twists and turns when it comes to everything that it continues to be violent. But more importantly, I'm loving what AEW is doing. Toni continues to be doing a great job when it comes to putting the card together. It's going to be fully stacked. But more importantly, I'd like to know from you guys' point of view how you're feeling about everything. You guys are tuning in. I appreciate you guys giving the hearts and the likes. More importantly, comment down below. If you're coming over from Twitter, it'll be a little bit harder because I won't be able to see it. But switch over to YouTube and I'll be able to hear your comments. Make sure my mic is all good and everything is all smooth when it comes to tonight's show. Then we have a recap of the Bang Bang game getting stripped of the Trios Championship at Collision, arguing with Christopher Daniels about sending us to the break. When it came to that situation, why did they have to strip them of the Trios Championship when we had a situation with the Ring of Honor Championship when Samoa Joe took the place of Adam Cole, who was injured? And it just didn't make sense when it came to that situation. Now all of a sudden now they're saying nobody could swap spots for the championships. It just didn't make sense for them to strip the Bang Bang Gang, and now they're gonna have to regain the championship. But it just looked flat on that part. That part didn't make sense, and the championships just stayed directly with the Bang Bang Gang. Then we got ready for the main event of the night. We had Shane Swerve Strickland versus Okada. This match was pretty decent, a lot of back and forth. These boys put on a clinic. I enjoyed everything about the counters that Swerve was putting on. He's really being a true champion. Not even to even just hype him up about who he is, but more importantly, he did a great job tonight. Same when it came to Okada. Okada can go as well. And Okada kept me invested when it came to tonight's showcase. They did a lot of back and forth. They were able to hit off their actual trademark moves. Okada even taunted the fans by hitting up the middle finger. Swerve was able to hit a counter to the Rainmaker. And as well, it was great action just in general. More importantly, this match was a decent, could have been a pinfall. I would have loved to see it go to a pinfall, but of course they had to go with the disqualification. As the claim ran down, more importantly, the Elite got involved. Then we also ended up having Mark Briscoe coming down. Then we had Hangman come out, and then Hangman and Swerve Strickland had a face-to-face off until he got dragged out the ring by the Elite. And then they had a full melee brawl as things just went into a full chaos of staff trying to get involved. Everybody was just getting hyped up, getting ready for blood and guts. I figured that was going to happen when it came to the main event. But more importantly, I was truly invested of seeing how things may unfold. But then also we ended up having Darby Allin making his return. He did a true homage to Sting coming down the rafters, and with the Sting playing. I know Sting will be very proud of what Darby Allin has continued to be doing each and every single week. More importantly, he continued to show respect to the icon, and he's going to continue to do that for a long time. But I'd like to know from you guys' point of view, how were you feeling about the build-up to All In? More importantly, did you guys enjoy the show? Out of tonight's show, I'll give it maybe 4.1 out of 5 stars. It was okay. It was very good for what it was. The beginning of the show was great when it came to MJF and Will Ospreay. They put on a banger for a full hour. I know AEW went over their time limit tonight when it came to everything that had went on in tonight's show. But they did their thing. They put on a clinic, and I look forward to seeing how things continue to unfold. Mercedes Mone is going to have her hands full when it comes to Britt Baker, but I know those ladies going to do their thing as well. When it comes to the trios titles, the Bang Bang Gang got to regain those titles when they go ahead and face the Patriarchy for the trios championship at All In. But Christian will be not too far behind of almost getting all the championship, as he's making his mark. He's already been a TNT champion, and then he's looking to become a trios champion. And then our last big step is the AEW World Heavyweight Championship. More importantly, we get to see where things continue to be pushed when it comes to Swerve Strickland, as he's on a quest to not only doing what Bryan Danielson was doing, but putting on a big clinic of matches leading up to their match, as Bryan Danielson was doing his thing as well. He's putting his body on the line as he's getting ready to go part-time when it comes to professional wrestling. But I look forward to seeing more things continue to unfold. I always appreciate you guys coming through and show your love and support for this channel. If you're a true fan of wrestling, don't forget to follow me as well on X, formerly known as Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, as well as YouTube. Don't forget to hit that like button. And I'd like to know from you guys' point of view, let's talk professional wrestling always in the comments. And we go back and forth, and I would love to carry conversation with you guys. But until the next episode, I appreciate you guys coming through. But you already know how this go. I'll catch you guys later. Peace.